All right, as we round out the month of May and as we kick off the month of June, well, with June also comes hurricane season. So this week, of course, we've been focusing on what to expect this season and really as we kick off the start of hurricane season. So yesterday I was telling you about what that forecast was, and for a pretty average season. Now, of course, it only takes one to cause damage, but now let's dive a little deeper into that. I want to talk about how those storms get their name. So it all represents the tropical basin. So we have English names, we have French names, we have Spanish names, so that they represent all of those areas. And there are actually only 6 lists of names. So if you think back 6 years ago, we were using a list, the same list that we're about to use this year. Now, of course, if a name gets retired, then it comes off that list and is replaced. So the 2023 list, and of course all these lists are determined by the WMO. It's what we call the World Meteorological Organization. So every 6 years, that list is repeated. So this same list now that we're using in 2023 will now be again reused in 2029. Of course, unless any of those names get retired or aren't used again. Of course, they go in alphabetical order, and they didn't always do this, but now they alternate back and forth between male and female names. So the first name on our list, Arlene, a female, of course. Brett would be the next name. That's a male name, and then we flip back to a female name with Cindy, and it goes back and forth like that throughout that list of names. So those names only get retired if a storm is deadly or so costly that using again, of course, would be inappropriate or sort of in the wrong sense. So there's a lot that goes into this, and I was talking to Ed this morning. You know, it wasn't that long ago when they only used female names. They switched that in 1979, and it was funny to hear Ed talk about it. They were actually using a list of like bad girlfriends that people in these organizations had. They're like, oh, I'll throw that one in the list. And they thought, so maybe we should probably do something a little different.
And they used to, in the early days, they would number them, but then the trouble was everybody would say, well, number 3, and then number 3 was bad again on another year, and someone would go, well, which number 3 are you talking about? So they finally had to do names.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see what letters are most frequently used. We've had a lot of bad F name storms in North Carolina because you're thinking like down the list, okay, as the water gets warmer, you're going deeper into summer. It makes sense that some of those middle alphabet letters would get used. You know, we've seen H's, M's. Michael recently.
And we just retired Ian, and we just retired Fiona too from last year.
Right around that alphabet, like you were saying.
Exactly.
All right.